Hey everybody, Steve here. Back in the Ritter mobile command post here, COVID free, coming to you from Abu Dhabi. A couple of questions. We've got a lot of new subscribers that have come on board. Now we're well over 185,000 subscribers now. So, and I appreciate all of you watching and on my zany adventures as I continue my mom's channel as we go along. What I'm going to make for you today is sourdough cinnamon raisin rolls, and I'm going to make these up, and I'm actually, it's in the morning here, I'm going to take these into work, and so the guys at work will either get violently sick from them or enjoy them. So what I've done, go off camera for a second here, I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now. This is my sourdough starter that I've started, like I said, probably shortly after I got back from Christmas. So this has been January, well over a month now. I've had this going. Kept feeding it and all, and it's got a nice little sour smell to it, like good sourdough. So I'm gonna make some cinnamon rolls. Now I watched my son Nathan. He's the one that kind of got me going with the sourdough. So I made the dough last night because that takes a little time. I wanted it to sit and kind of rise a little bit and kind of get going good. So you'll have to excuse me. The dough's already made. All the directions are down below, and it's pretty standard. All the ingredients and the directions are down below. So check that out. On your way down, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. So I'll flip the camera around. What I'm going to do now is make the filling for it, and then we'll go from there and pick it up from there. So I'm going to flip the camera around, stand by. All right, back again. So as I said, I made the dough up last night and used buttermilk and some melted butter, egg. I used a half cup of my sourdough starter, a little bit of sugar and some flour. Let it rise to, and then kneaded it for about 6 to 8 minutes. I think it was a good. It was 6 minutes. Made this dough, so I've got this ready to go. But first thing I'm gonna do is make the filling for it. All right, so 3 parts to this. So you got the dough, the filling, and then I'm gonna have the glaze. So for the filling, I've got 6 tablespoons of butter that I let sit out and kind of soften. Look at this. Got myself a spatula. How about that, huh? I'm going to go, I had half a cup of sugar, 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, which I find as a general rule, a little cinnamon goes a long way. So this is definitely going to be cinnamon-y. Is that a word? Yep, it is now. So 1 tablespoon of flour, and then one other thing I'm going to add is I'll pick these up from the store, raisins. So I'm going to add these as well. Now you can forego the raisins if you'd like. I happen to like raisins, so raisins go in, and then we'll just kind of mix all this together. This is going to be our nice filling that's going to go in on top of the dough. Kind of mix this all together. I probably should have mixed this together before I added the raisins, I'm thinking. So let's mix this together. Hope everybody's doing all right. Like I said, I had a little bout with the COVID, and made it through fine. There was just a couple of days I was feeling kind of poorly, but feeling a lot better now. Maybe this butter wasn't as softened as it should have been. And it's kind of challenging over here too, because the butter comes in, the markings are in grams, so I have to, Google's great for figuring out the grams to tablespoons conversion. In the States, you know, you get the butter they sell comes in, I'm going to use a fork here. The butter that comes in on the packaging has it in tablespoons, so just it's a minor inconvenience having to look that up. So I do find that we probably ought to At least think about going over a metric system, huh? Anyway, this reminded me of a story when Nathan was little. We used to have a problem with him chewing on electrical cords, like plugged in. So, of course, then we grounded him, and now he's conducting himself accordingly. No, that one's for you, Bella. All right, I'm going to get this all incorporated, mixed in, and then we'll add this to our dough, so stand by one. All right, so I got it all incorporated and kind of mixed together, and we'll turn this out. Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to turn the dough out now. Here's my dough that I made up last night. And what I'm looking to do, I just lightly floured the surface here, and I'm going to roll this out. I'm looking for like a rectangle shape. I got myself a new, I guess I ought to take the sticker off this thing, huh? I got myself a new rolling pin here. I probably ought to give this a good wash too. Yeah, so I really didn't have a rolling pin. I had to go buy one yesterday from the Carrefour. Got all kind of stuff there. So got myself a rolling pin here. And I'm gonna just kind of lightly dust this thing with some flour. I'll just do it with my hands here. So like I said, I'm looking to make a nice rectangle shape, kind of roll this out. There we go. So just kind of roll this out. Now this is not a spinny one. This is like an old-fashioned. Look at that. The handles don't turn. So I've got to kind of roll it in my hands here. So I'm going to post a video on my sourdough experiment and kind of how I created my sourdough. I had to do it over like a week period. You know, it takes a while to get going. Now you can do a couple of different ways with the sourdough. You can just leave it open to the air like the natural yeast, or you can. I kind of helped it out with some baker's yeast. Like that. So I want to roll this out thin, because the idea is I'm going to roll this out, put the filler on it, and then roll it up into a log shape so that I can then cut it up and make the cinnamon rolls from it. So kind of rolling this out here. It's not much of a rectangle, is it? I'm not real good with the shapes, am I? Can you see all right? Yeah. Just kind of rolling this out here. This is like Granny's rolling pin here. All right, so kind of not too thin, probably like pizza dough thick. That's looking pretty good. Still got the ends that are a little. Now this is my first time making these, so like I've always say, warts and all, right? You can see it all as I go through and kind of experiment. The idea, you know, I was thinking about this. The idea is, you know, a lot of people aren't real comfortable with cooking. So that's not much of a rectangle shape, but that's going to have to do. You know, that's the idea. So I would kind of go through, and it's okay to mess up and make mistakes and try again. And I mean, like I did with my mom's, trying to make my mom's fudge, you know. Sometimes you do it, you give your best. All right, so now the idea here is I'm going to kind of spread this around. Again, if I had to do this over again, I would not have added the raisins, so don't do that. I'm going to just use my fingers. That's the best way here. I'm going to just kind of spread this around all over as much as I can. And I'm going to get this goodness in here. Spread this around here because as this bakes, and the dough should rise a little bit more with the sourdough in it. And I just want to spread this around. I want to save about as close to the edge as I want to get. It's about, you know, ½ inch at the closest. I'm a little bit farther away from that, so we'll see how many this makes too. So I'm going to spread these around on here. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good. I got mostly in here. Now the butter in here will melt and it'll kind of all incorporate in here. I think so. We'll see how this turns out. So, all right, I'm going to reset and we're going to roll this up. So stand by one. All right, back again. So I'm a little bit of flour on my hands here. Now the trick is to try to roll this up as tight as you can. That's the idea. And to roll this up as we go. You guys getting this? All right, good. I've never made these before, so see how they turn out. Might have like one big one that's that's got all the filling in it, and then like a bunch of them that are just dough. Oh, that wouldn't be good. I don't know why I'm laughing about that, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, this is rolling up nice. So this is like a cinnamon roll burrito. So the idea here is to get seam side down, okay? And then I want to take a knife. Let's use this one, and just oil it a little bit so that, well, I'm gonna try a little bit of flour just to see. So what I want to do is just cut. See, like this end piece is just nothing but dough. I won't waste that, but I want to cut about 2-inch pieces. So 1, 2, about 2 inches across. There we go. How's that look? Not too bad. Well, can you see that? Yeah, not too bad. 2-inch pieces is kind of what I'm looking for. And we're going to put them in our pan. Actually, what we're going to do, once I cut these, we're going to set them in there, let them rest for about an hour, and then we'll put them in the oven to cook. So, and cut these into 2-inch pieces, and then we'll put them in the pan and let them rise. Go ahead and get my, I don't really have a baking pan or anything. I've got this casserole dish. I'm going to use this to bake them in them. And I want to pack them a little close together so they'll kind of rise together. That's the idea. See how many of these we're going to get. Might be more than I thought. Might be enough for everybody at work. That'd be bad if somebody didn't get one. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think maybe one more here, and the rest of this is just kind of dough. One little tiny one. All right, this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to just set these to the side, let them rise for another hour, and we'll be right back. Stand by one. All right, so these have been sitting for an hour. See, they close. They're kind of rising a little bit here. All right, what I've done now, I've warmed the oven up. I've got 180 C, which is about 350 degrees. I'm going to toss them in. Cook them for about 35 to 40 minutes till their tops are golden brown. And in the meantime, we'll make the glaze for them. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, now back for the glaze. So I've got half a cup of cream cheese that's I sat out and let it soften a little bit. I've got half a cup of powdered sugar and 2 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm using salted butter. I think it's a richer taste. We'll see how that turns out. I suppose you could use unsalted butter, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in my handy dandy blender here. Is this not all the way down? There we go. All right, put that in my handy dandy blender, and we'll start working this up here. Powdered sugar goes in. Don't waste any of that. And then we'll put the butter in. Whoop, look at that. There it goes. Hands are clean. I always feel like I gotta say that. We just mix this up. Now as this mixes, I'm gonna use my new spatula here to kind of push the sides down. And if you need it a little thinner, and we're not looking for real thick, just enough that it can pour over the top, you can go with a couple tablespoons of milk as well. So we'll see how that works. So we'll let this mix up here. Now, I usually hate talking while this thing's going, but this microphone does a pretty good job picking it all up. So just kind of straight down the sides. It all kind of mixes together. See, this is kind of thick. It's kind of like cake batter. I'm looking for something that's a little thinner. See how it's pretty thick. So I'm gonna get some milk out. Just a little bit of whole milk, and just a couple of tablespoons will probably do it. So we'll see how this works here. Bit in here. That's a little better. Maybe just a little bit more, I think. Don't want to put too much, don't want to make it too runny, but I do want it to go over the top, nice glaze. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, probably about a good sized tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of milk worked out real nice. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Put a little bit in at a time here. I'm looking for like Krispy Kreme glaze consistency. Looking pretty good. All right, what do you think? Let's take a look. You guys tell me what you think. Looks pretty good. See it? That'll go over nicely over the roll. So yeah, probably ended up about a tablespoon and a half of milk or so. Thinned it out pretty nice. So I think that'll work. I think so. All right. We'll wait. We're waiting now for the cinnamon rolls. There they are, cooking in there. See the raisins starting to pop out of there. All right. We'll see how that works. So we'll be back when they're done cooking. Put the glaze on it and then try them. So stand by. All right. So that's 5 minutes, or I'm sorry, 30 minutes. They're starting to brown up. Smell is driving me crazy. Man, that smells good. Can you smell that? So I'm gonna go for probably, see, the tops aren't quite brown, but you can see that bubble, that butter cooking. Oh man, that smells good. I'm gonna go for another, we'll check it again in another 5 minutes or so and see how this is looking. So stand by one. All right, that makes 35 minutes. I think that's long enough. To see the tops are nice and golden brown. Let's go ahead and take these out. I don't have a pot holder. I got to use a hand towel from the bathroom. So tops are nice and golden brown. Looking at the sides here. Yeah, they're nice and done. All right, I'm going to let these cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to put, you know what? I think I'm going to put these back in for a little bit longer. I think I'm going to go 40 minutes with these. So I'm going to put them back in for another 5 minutes or so. Let them cook. I'd like to see the sides be a little more done. So head fake, stand by, coming right back. All right, back again. Now these look better, nice. Ooh, steam coming off there. Nice and golden brown. Man, these smell amazing. I need to get me a pot holder. Man, I'm burning my hand one day. Yeah, those look great. Smell great. I'm going to let them cool down a little bit before I put the glaze on. So we'll be right back for the glaze and then the taste. So stand by. All right, back again. Here's the one of my favorite parts is putting the glaze on. Now I gotta say, now all of you have been not bothering me, have been getting on me about getting a rubber spatula. I don't know what took me so long. Look at this. I mean, it just scrapes the sides down so clean, and it's a lot better than using a metal spatula. So I'm going to do is just pour a little bit of this glaze on the top here. See how this goes. So just kind of pour it on. I'm going to try to make sure, I'm going to start off light to make sure I got enough here. They're still warm enough that it's going to melt and kind of run down the sides, as you can see. Now, I've been going crazy smelling these things over the last 45 minutes. So, yeah, there'll be plenty here. Got them close enough together that I kind of keep them together so that they kind of rise a little bit, you know, kind of come up. They really got no place to go but up. I'll put a little extra, the recipe I was looking at, I put a little extra butter in it than what it called for, because I didn't want the filling to run out of the cinnamon rolls. So it looks like it did a pretty good job staying in it. So getting all that good glaze out of there. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around and taste them. So I'll be right back. All right, back again. I can't wait to try this. Look at that. Turned out really nice. Smells amazing. Now for the moment of truth, I'll let it cool down a little bit. So, but look at this. The bottom is nice. Put a little bit of coating of, well, I've got Pam. I'm trying to use it up, but a little bit of coating of Pam on the bottom just to keep it from sticking to the bottom. But you know, this cooked up nice. Let's try this. So here we go. In the middle there. That's good, and I'm really digging the raisins in it too. So I love the sourdough, gives it a nice, interesting texture to it. A little bit of with the flavor and all. Tasty. Some in my mustache. So I hope you try this. Again, all the directions and ingredients are down below. I'm sorry. It was last night. I was just too tired to film the dough part, but pretty standard making dough. But anyway, hope you try it and enjoy it. And this is pretty tasty. I know the guys at work are going to love this. So this is Colonel saying over and out.